Oh, welcome to another episode of the BJJ GOONS podcast. I'm your host, Tim the Mushmaster Spriggs. With me today, as always, is Nico Ball. And today we have a very special guest, PG County. PG County, Maryland has been a breeding ground of athletic talent for decades. Kevin Durant, Sugar Ray Leonard, Len Bias, world boxing champion Riddick Bowe, and countless professional athletes have grown up in this community. PG County is also home to one of the best combat sports gyms in the world, Team Lloyd Irvin headquarters. Team Lloyd Irvin's kids program has produced elite grapplers for decades. Malachi Edmond is a product of this program. He's a multiple-time worlds and pan medalist that now coaches in the kids program and hosts his own food vlog entitled Magic Man Meals. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this episode, the Magic Man, Malachi Edmond.
What's up, guys? What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, man, it's been like, 2-3 months since I've seen you?
Yes, it's been a long time since we've conversated about food during drilling.
Oh, no, we don't conversate about food during drilling. Let's just be clear on that. Malachi talks about food for the 2 hours that we have to drill over lunch, and it's the worst experience ever because it's lunchtime and we're hungry.
Hey, that's what happens when you're hungry. You just gotta talk about what you can't have for now.
I don't agree with that. You think about that, like Sadiq will cut weight watching the food channel, which I don't understand in the least bit, but maybe that's about like a TLI homegrown secret that you'll tell us about later.
I'll break it down real quick before we get started into the questions. Like, as an athlete, when you cut weight, you can't have certain foods. So watching people eat the food you can't have is like a blessing. So like Jamil goes to sleep to the Food Network channel. I go to sleep to the Food Network channel. And when we go to tournaments and it's time to go to sleep, the Food Network channel is on. That's how it goes.
All right,
how much weight are you cutting for these tournaments? Like,
I do it gradually. So it's not like a cut. So it's more like just losing it over time. But it's like 13 or 14.
Whoa, that's nuts, man. I never really had to cut that much.
A lot of people say I'm like really tall for light feather, but I'm not too heavy, so it's kind of easy to get down.
But how often do you compete?
Well, before coronavirus, it was like about every 3 months we had a tournament.
Every 3 months? Okay.
How's the lockdown been treating you?
Not bad at all, actually. I've been really digging into my own game a lot. I've been studying a lot of other people as well. Besides that, I just been playing Call of Duty with Sadiq, and that's it. Cooking new foods.
Are you still teaching despite the lockdown?
I've been calling into some Zoom calls, but not really. I've been focusing on myself a lot.
Anyone specific that you're watching, or any kind of like mind mapping you're doing for your game?
Right now, the biggest three that I've been watching a lot are Lucas Lepre, Leandro Lowe, and surprisingly, people don't watch him anymore because he's been switching to MMA, but I've been watching a lot of Durant.
Oh my God.
Oh no, yeah, I was watching his fight the other day. It was an amazing fight.
I have a funny story about Durant. I actually competed against him as a blue belt.
Really? Oh. Where?
At a Naga. People don't
At a Naga?
Yes, we're probably gonna get into it later on in this episode about how real the local grappling scene was on the East Coast, but Jiu-Jitsu was the Wild West back in the day, bro.
Yeah, for the grapplers class.
I'll never forget. We were in North Carolina, and that was the weekend that Anderson Silva knocked out Forrest Griffin. I was a blue belt, and I signed up I had to sign up for all the advanced Nogi, because with the Nagas, once you win the division once, they got your name on the list, so you have to bump up. So I win my first match. It's pretty easy considering, but, I'm like an 18-year-old blue belt, and I'm going against, at the time, that summer, he had won Worlds, and I fought Durant, and he was the strongest at that time, he was the strongest person I ever grappled. And even to this day, that's top 5 person to put them paws on me. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that he put in that work. When I was watching the fight or before, I was like, bro, Dorino is strong. Like, he's black dude strong.
It's going to be a tough one for sure. I'm definitely voting BJJ community, but don't tell Sadiq that.
Oh, word? He's going for Kamaru?
Yeah. They're fighting soon, I think.
July, right?
Yeah,
July 12th, 11th?
The same fight, the same card as Pedro, right?
Yep.
Jeez, it's weird. Like, now when I talk to people, I feel I'm like 29, but in jiu-jitsu years, I'm an old dog. Like, I'm old as dirt. But I mean, I think that you've been training longer than me, Malachi, correct?
Yeah, I've been training since I was 5. I've been doing strictly jiu-jitsu though since I was like 7.
Wow.
Since you were
since you were 7. Oh, like that 2 years when you were like, when I was doing nothing of importance. You were like,
No, it's just you guys know because you guys come to the gym, but I don't know if everybody else knows, but like at the gym, we start off with Taijutsu. So my first 2 years, I only did summer camp and night class, and I never did any like jiu-jitsu, even though I was like super proficient. Like, you guys know we have the Little Ninja program. I didn't do the Little Ninja program. I skipped it. I went straight to Taijutsu, like the kids class, and was getting belts. That's why I have my junior black belt. I got it at 10. But I never looked at jiu-jitsu because I was like, I don't really know. But then one day Master Johnny threw me in there, and I was like, oh yeah, I suck, but let's go.
But like, when you say he threw you in there, like, did he throw you into the competition class? Because I thought the way the kids program was like you just did the Thai Jiu-Jitsu until you got to like the master's class, where then you competed and then you would do just Jiu-Jitsu. Is that what you're?
So back in the day, we had black belt club and master's club. So there was an extra like in between. But if Master Johnny saw like any potential or any talent that you had, he would allow intro members to just wrestle around with Masters Club members. So you guys like don't really know the big names unless Gianni Grippo's listening right now. But the first person I think I ever rolled with was Ryan Villagram. And
Tell us a little bit about Ryan.
Man, he had some monster matches.
Yeah. Ryan, how old was he when he beat a black belt? Guys, like, for everyone listening, Ryan Villagram is one of these myths in the jiu-jitsu community, but he's a real person. Malachi, you want to share a little bit about Ryan? Because you know him better than me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He definitely had some major matches with Gianni Grippo. If you want to say rivalry, I will say rivalry because they did go back and forth. But he fought guys like Gianni Grippo, Jason Moon, Yoni, who else? Michael Trasso, who still competes right now. He had some major matches. He beat a black belt when he was 14. He was still a green belt, not a blue belt, because you had to be 16 to get your blue belt. But he beat a black belt at 14. So he's an animal.
That's crazy. That was at Naga or like?
Yeah, at a Naga. But it was like a legit black belt. Like, I'm trying to tell you, Tim knows Nagas back then were like legit.
Oh yeah. I definitely know. Like they're
scary.
It was what it was on the East Coast in the U.S. I mean, like, everybody was out there at Nagas.
Yeah.
The thing was, back then, IBJJF didn't have regionals. The first regional I remember was the New York Open in 2009. So for 10 plus years before that, if you wanted to get, yes, and then it was Grappler's Quest, because Grappler's Quest would give you money.
Yeah. I literally just watched a match from 2009. It was Ryan Hall versus Lucas Lapri. Nogi.
Oh, wow. From Grappler's Quest?
Grappler's Quest, because they had those $10,000 cash prizes.
Yeah, they need to come on back.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna come back.
I mean,
but
they
had some major cash prizes. Like Jeff Glover used to win cash prizes. Jeff Munson used to win cash prizes. Cyborg, before Cyborg was like bald, he had hair. He was winning $10,000 cash prizes from Grappler's Quest. Like, Grappler's Quest was legit. Sergio Moraes came to New Jersey, was coached by Cobrinha, and I was sitting maybe like 2 rows over from Cobrinha and Sergio Moraes, like watching them compete in New Jersey. Like, who gets to say that?
At a naga, you know, like that reminds me of like when I go see like them old head Brazilians that talk to me about like jiu-jitsu in Rio. It's like, oh, yo, Cobrinha at a naga in Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's wild.
Unheard of.
So let's still go back a little bit. You said you started training when you were 5 years old. Was that your first experience with martial arts? Or did you see movies or TV shows growing up? Do you even remember that far back?
No, I definitely can. The first like ever thing I watched was Power Rangers, and I tell the same story all the time. I was watching the Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze, and my grandmother was actually recording me watching the show, and I was actually performing the moves that they were doing on the TV. Probably not as good, but I was watching and doing it. So my grandmother was like, "Hey, let's go sign you up for a class." So I went to, I want to say it was like Tiger Dojang or something like that, but they actually pick up in the same after school, like little circle that we do. So I remember going to that school, and I walked in and everyone was like breaking boards and kicking boxes. And I was like, nah, this isn't what I'm searching for. Yeah. So I came to Lloyd Irvin's martial arts, and my mom and my grandmother did a tour, and my mother actually went to school with Master Lloyd. So when we came in, there was a big, hey, and I was like, what the, hey, how do you know this guy? This may be the right place. But my mom dropped me off the next day, and I actually didn't like it at all. I was super nervous, really shy. If you guys know, I hid in the private room. You guys know the private room. I hid in the private room for hours until Master Donnie found me under the couch. And I came out, and Master Donnie showed me around. He introduced me to Ryan Villagram and Joseph Rollins, and we just really hit it off. And I was like, man, all right, we didn't even do any martial arts. We played dodgeball, we played Steal the Bacon, which that's a game that's like extra old because I still play it now. And then I was just like, all right, I'll stay. And then I started doing some martial arts, and then I was like, all right, this is a place I'm going to stay at.
And this all happened on your first day?
On my first day, yes.
All of that, your first day?
Yeah, I went to my first day was summer camp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was super early day.
So you go in there and you start with the summer camp. Can you tell us about the kids' summer camp? Because that's one of the biggest camps that I know of, and I've been teaching martial arts for a while. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience going in?
So the cool part is everyone thinks, oh man, Team Lloyd Irvin has this huge funnel of kids that they bring in through the summer camp program, and through the summer, all they do is 1,000% jiu-jitsu, and that's why these kids are so good. Incorrect. 100%. Literally, the summer camp program, you sign up, and Monday through Friday, we're going on field trips. So it's like we may have 1 hour jiu-jitsu. It's 100% fun and 100% like summer camp based, teaching you like camaraderie with friends and helping you build brotherships and friendships and things like that. But basically you're creating a routine mixed with exercises, dance moves, martial arts techniques, and you're going to combine them into like one routine to show everybody, kind of like America's Got Talent, but it's for summer camp edition. And we may do like 1 hour of jiu-jitsu if you're on the Masters Club.
All right. So when you went into the summer camp, who did you meet there? And how did it go from you're the new kid on the block to you're training with the, for I guess the Masters Club would be like the elite team for the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you go from that to competing on the regular? And who did you meet at the camp?
Okay, so first, the very first person, like I said, that I met was Master Donnie. And Master Donnie introduced me to Ryan, who was like the big dog on campus. Ryan had a black and white camo gi, a red belt. He was with the glow-in-the-dark nunchucks. I was like, man, this guy, like, that's how AI talks about Jordan with the glow around him when he played him. That's how I looked at Ryan. I was like, man, this guy's got a freaking glow. Like, it's not just the nunchucks. He's like, he looks crazy. Like, I want to be like that. So I started going out there, and I was like, man, how do I get like this guy? And so Master Donnie showed me, oh, man, he does this, 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 and this. He's always focused on his jiu-jitsu, not just here, but at home too. So at every day at summer camp, I followed Ryan. No matter what he was doing, where he was going, this guy could be going to get some water. I was following Ryan to get some water. He gets water at this time, I'm going there to get some water, you know? So I met Ryan first, and Macedoni saw how fast I was picking up on the Jiu-Jitsu moves that Ryan was doing. So that's why I said I skipped Little Ninjas, because I was going to go to Little Ninjas, but I skipped and went up with Ryan. So Macedoni there's teams in the summer camp. It was Macedoni, Jose Villarisco, and Mike Fowler. So I was going to go to Mike Fowler's team, but Macedoni, he's always pulling some strings. So I got picked to Macedoni, or traded to Macedoni's team to be under Ryan. And from that whole summer camp, Ryan called part of the routine and I called the other half, which was like unheard of for a yellow belt to be calling a summer camp routine as a 6-year-old, 5 or 6-year-old. It was unheard of. So like we won a lot of the competitions because 6-year-old is calling calls,
Incredible.
So from there, the very first match I ever did for Jiu-Jitsu was with Ryan. But knowing Ryan, he's a cool guy. He's an amazing teacher. He actually teaches at school in DC now, like actual education, not just Jiu-Jitsu, but was with Ryan. So it was more like a teaching style role. He was telling me not to put my hands here. You want to stay balanced. You don't want to fall over. But my second match was with Joseph Rollins. And if you guys know Joseph Rollins, this guy is the most competitive guy I've ever gone against. Macedoni throws me out there and he says, okay, all I want you to do is try to jump over Joseph's scissor sweep. All you got to do is jump over his legs when he tries to scissor sweep you. The very first scissor sweep, Joseph knocks all the wind out of me on one scissor sweep. I was like, ugh. I don't know if this is what I want to do anymore. Seriously, one scissor sweep, and I was like, man, this may not be the thing for me. But I probably would say I probably spent like an hour and a half right there on the main mat, when the main mat used to be red and blue, not black and gray. Trying to jump over Joseph's scissor sweep. And from then on out, Macedoni invited me to after that. I got on the Masters Club in like, I want to say like 2 months.
Holy
and
moly.
I was just doing jiu-jitsu classes.
That's what's up.
What was the training regimen like? For me, when I go to Camp Springs on Saturdays, when our workout is done in the regular class, the kids are going downstairs to Poppy's Chicken. They come back up and they're training. I go on Instagram, they're training until 5 or 6 in the evening. This is like,
you want the training schedule as I was a kid or now as an adult?
First. Let's go with when you're a kid and you're coming up.
Okay, kid first was an amazing training session because you had a mixture of teenagers and kids training together. Most kids programs have like a funnel of 3 and 4 year olds, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, but we had like 14 and below. And before, if you know our gym, we had 3 levels. We had the top level, the second floor, and then the back. So on Mondays through Fridays, we trained on the first 2 floors. But on Saturday, we had our extra hard, top secret trainings. We would go downstairs to the back so we wouldn't be interrupted like at all.
But the back was like a garage too. Was the back air conditioned or was it like an outside? Was it like a warehouse?
It was a nice facility, but like Macedoni didn't turn on the AC. it had AC, but Macedoni did not.
You're talking about where that warehouse is now? Is that?
Yeah. It's the bottom of the warehouse. It's the bottom of the warehouse.
Like,
it literally was mats and mirrors. That's literally all it was, mats and mirrors.
Because if today on the 3rd floor they don't always turn on the AC and that's an actual room, I could only imagine how it would be down there in like the warehouse where it has like the truck loading garage and opening doors. Like, yeah.
So it's like that, right? But on Saturdays, the main thing Macedoni would say is we wouldn't leave this basement until the mirrors are 100% fogged.
And that's as a 5-year-old? Or
no, I was about 7 or 8.
It's
Okay.
still 7.
Yeah, it was like, no.
It was amazing. Like the work ethic that I have came from that back gym, 100%.
Wow.
100%.
All right, so like
I,
we've
no,
mentioned
go ahead.
Master Donnie a lot. Like, and I don't know, like, as everybody knows, like, Team Lloyd Irvin, and I think everybody knows who Master Lloyd is, but I'm not sure, like, because before I came onto the team, I didn't know about Master Donnie. Like, Master Donnie was just, like, kind of like this little secret thing y'all had in the back.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of explain what Master Donnie is and, like, his role, like, what he does for everybody? Because even today, as adults, he plays a big part for the competitors.
For sure. Master Donnie is like Coach K. If you guys know Coach K from Duke, like he is the coach of coaches for the kids team. And he kind of like transitioned because now we're adults. So he's like still over us, but he's still under Master Lloyd. So they are together working on all of us. But if I had to break it down, Master Donnie is like a second dad to me. And basically to all of us, because if you're going on like travel, like AAU teams do basketball, if you're going on a trip and you don't have food, Master Donnie's going to get you food. Master Donnie's got us hotels. Master Donnie takes us everywhere.
First of all, yeah, Master Donnie's the one taking you on the trip, first of all. like that was the first thing. So Master Donnie takes the whole kids team on all the trips.
And back. Yeah. Driving to New Jersey and back, driving to New York and back, flying to California, flying us back. Like he is like the rock. He's like the glue that keeps everything together. But everyone starts, if you start as a kid, with Master Donnie. Mm-hmm. But that's all I can say really, is like he's like a second dad, like to everyone. But he starts off knowing you, and then just deep dives into your whole being and just elevates you from there. It's basically all it is, you know. But he definitely is in the shadows, but he likes to be in the shadows.
Yeah, he definitely
doesn't like Flo has never posted about Master Donnie. Maybe one time I think they posted about Master Donnie, but even then Master Donnie's like, no, I don't want the fame. Which is awesome, because most people, you think like if a boxer is getting famous, but his real boxing coach is this guy, you would think, oh, this guy, man, you're fighting with De La Hoya. I want, some give back, No, Master Donnie's not like that at all.
Yeah, he's very chill. I remember like one of the first times I've ever like met or saw Master Donnie, I was like, before I joined the team, I was taking pictures for Flow Grappling, and it was of a Ray. And he's like real quiet, like he's never really loud, like not even like at like New York Open where everybody's screaming, and you're just sitting there, and like halfway through the match he's like, "Oh, Ray, move your foot 3 inches forward." I'm like, 3 inches? I'm like, what? Like, first of all, it was so quiet, like it wasn't even trying to scream, it was just like, 3 inches, please. Like, and it was so specific, and it was just coaching that was just like so detailed and specific to our actual game that now that I train with the team, I kind of understand it. But it was just so weird. I was like, okay, three inches forward. Okay.
But even like with you, Nico, you came into the team a little later, and at first Master Donnie was a little distant. But as soon as he knew that you were here to stay, then you were riding to the tournaments with us. You were eating with us, everything. So like he's 100% accepting of everybody, which is like my favorite thing about Master.
He is also. He's really awesome.
And he only coaches people like that who are smart, because I am Jiu-Jitsu dumb. So Master Donnie has to say every single detail. That's only for smart people.
Well, when you started, I know you have a brother that trained. Did you start with your brother?
My brother was the GOAT, and he started years after me. It's highly embarrassing once he started for my jiu-jitsu career.
Tell us a little bit.
I don't know about that, Malachi.
Brother.
It's okay. I don't know about that. That's in the past.
My gosh. I will tell you about my brother. I believe for 13 years, my brother never lost a match.
What? 13?
And this was Naga, Nogi Advance, Naga Teen 1, Kids Pan 2 times. Grapplers Quest multiple times. Grapplers Quest on the East Coast, Grapplers Quest in Las Vegas, Naga in Las Vegas, like years undefeated. And even in the gym, he was like phenomenal. So everyone's like, man, this guy's going to be so good. This guy's going to be so good. And funny story, Mike Easton was talking, UFC fighter Mike Easton was talking to Mastodon about my brother and didn't know I was sitting right next to him. But then he looks over and sees that I'm there, and he goes, am I lying? Look at him. He's amazing. I'm like, oh,
no.
You gotta be kidding me, man. I'm already living in my brother's shadow, and I've been here since I was 5 years old. Now I'm 13, and this guy, he started at 3 years old.
3?
3 years old.
Oh my God. How much?
I was there,
Best Tominagi I've ever seen.
Best Yoko in the game. Like, stand up, everything. My brother was train wrecking before Tim knew what the train wreck was.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
He got out the game, clearly. You lucky, Tim.
I am lucky. He would have been a YouTube sensation.
We're the same size. Yeah, we're the same size. I'm lucky. I think if my brother was still competing now, he would at least be a one-time black belt world champion. At least. Yeah. At least. He would have been competing at black belt he would have been at brown belt Jamil's first black belt year, in my eyes. If he would have kept on the right track, I think so. He would have been a brown belt world champ. Jamil would have been at black belt world champ, and then they would have moved up to black. And I still will be at purple.
Now, what are some of the hardships when you're coming up in the game in this program? I mean, I remember you guys would compete as often as possible, and you guys were training like real athletes. Like, when I tell people about jiu-jitsu, they don't really know how hard it is to be elite at this sport. You have to, like, I read a lot about books about basketball players. I'm a basketball fanatic. And, you read about Relentless by Tim Grover, and he trained Kobe, Dwayne Wade, Michael Jordan, and they talk about this type of stuff, but very few professional athletes train like that. But when you come to Team Lloyd Irvin, the kids are training like this. They're competing year-round, and they're training like world-class athletes from basically elementary school. So what were some of the hardships that you had to deal with that schedule, and how did you balance life as a quote-unquote normal child in an abnormal, high-stakes sport that you were doing?
Well, the first things first, I started in elementary school. So the biggest thing were friendships. I definitely had to weed out the friends that I knew weren't like on the same track that I was. That was the first step. Because if you choose someone that doesn't have the same goals as you, you're going to just fall in line, Mm-hmm. My word always says, if you hang with 9 unsharp pencils, you're going to be the 10th. So I didn't want to hang with those guys. So I knew friends that were also doing sports like I was, and I hung out with those guys. So that was step number one. Sacrifice number one was probably birthdays. I'm a huge social guy. I love family. I love talking to people. I love friends. Like, even with inside my own sports social group, I skip birthdays for practice. I skip birthdays for tournaments. I skip birthdays just for big group trainings. I skip birthdays for Saturday class, Friday class, Tuesday class, Thursday class, everything. If it wasn't after class or before class and I wasn't going to be late, I skipped it. So birthdays were huge too. Friends, birthdays, man, my own family members. I didn't go to family reunions. I didn't go to a whole bunch of things that you have to sacrifice for to make sure that you're at class, to make sure that you're at group training, to make sure that you're at tournaments. Like, I haven't had a Friday and Saturday off, probably, unless I was injured or sick, since coronavirus. So before the coronavirus, as an adult, for all the way back to 7 years old, I've been in the gym every Friday and Saturday, unless we were at a tournament or I was sick. So that's a big sacrifice. Everyone loves having their Saturday free, their Friday free. And I'm not talking like, oh, I get out of the gym at 12 noon and I get to go play from noon to like 9. No, I'm not. I'm at the gym at 9 and I'm not leaving the gym until 5 or 6 o'clock.
And then y'all have sleepovers too.
And we have sleepovers. So I've missed a lot of friendship things for sleepovers as well. Halloween sleepover, Christmas sleepover, Night of the Ninja, movie night. That's a long time that we used to have movie nights just to pull up and be with people that are also doing jiu-jitsu and just watch movies, play games, hang out, sleep over. So I definitely would say the biggest thing if you're looking as a kid, if there are any kids on here, is know your social group.
Phenomenal. Now, speaking of social groups, an important social group would be your family. Did you feel pressure from your family to, because when you get older, like when you're a kid, you're doing jiu-jitsu and they think it's cute. But once you become 18, 19, you know, if you go to school, like I went to school and I could balance it. But did you feel pressure from your family to try to quote unquote be more, get like a real job or have a real life? Or did you feel pressure? Like, did it affect your school at all when you were growing up as well?
No, for sure. And it was way before 18 or 19. At 15, all my uncles, whenever I would come home, my aunts, whenever I would actually be able to, you know, to go out and hang with the fam, would always ask, hey, what's the future? And I would tell everybody, I'm going to be a black belt world champion. And everyone would say, but what's your future? And I was like, no, that is the future. I'm not looking past anything but what I want to be. And it was like that until I was about 18. And everyone was like, okay, you've been telling us for years that you want to be a black belt world champion. You got a blue belt juvenile world championship. You got, at 18, I was still purple. So I got third at blue belt in Pan and the Worlds, and then third at purple belt at the Worlds and Pans. So they're like, all right, so you haven't, you know, won the tournament yet as an adult. So what's your plan? You think you're going to win black belt without winning any of these smaller tournaments? And I was like, that's still the goal. So the biggest pressure I probably ever had, and this is like a lot of people don't know, my mom, when I was 18, I was going, and this is Macedoni's favorite story, I was going to community college. And I do like this, and people can't see if you're not on the live. Air quoting, going to college, because my mother told me it's either college in jiu-jitsu or military if you're going to stay with me. And I didn't have like anywhere else to stay. So I was, air quotes, going to college. I would go with a friend in the morning to CSM Community College in La Plata. And I would check into my very first class because that was the only class I liked. And it was psychology. That was the only class I liked. But then after that, I would skip every class and go in the gym because the CSM has like a basketball team. So I would just play with them until like 11:30, 12 o'clock, and when Macedonia came to pick me up to go do morning class. So I was going to community college until first semester grades came out, and I had all failing grades. Every grade was failing.
Even the psychology class you went to?
Yeah, I didn't do any work. I just like to listen to him talk.
We're gonna edit this part out. School is important.
I just like listening to what he had to say. I feel like psychology teachers know exactly what you want to hear, you know? So I just wanted to listen. I didn't type anything or write down any notes. This guy didn't even sit in a chair. He sat on a desk.
He sat Indian style, didn't he? Had an apple in his...
Exactly. He sat Indian style. A white guy with a...
He was woke. He was woke.
He never sat on a chair. He always was like, no matter how you feel, when you come into this class, you don't need to sit in the chair. You want to sit on the floor. You want to sit on the desk. You want to sit on my desk. Hell, sit on my desk. I was like, this guy, I'm never skipping his class. So I say that I never skipped his class. I never did any work, but I never skipped his class. I love listening to what he had to say and teach about like the human brain. Like I loved it and what people think. But besides that, as soon as his class was over, 45 minutes, I was in the gym shooting hoops.
Did you buy any books?
Yeah, but I didn't buy books. My mom bought books. So then we lived in Waldorf, so La Plata is about a 25-minute drive from my house in Waldorf, my mom's house in Waldorf, which she still stays. But she got super mad and was like, all right, we're going to put you in CSM in Waldorf, which is a 5-minute drive from the house. So I couldn't go with my friend. There's no gym at the CSM in Waldorf. It's literally a building of classrooms. There's nothing else. No library, no computers. It's literally like an office building, but there's classrooms inside. Mm-hmm. So it's air quotations again. I was going to community college. What I would do was I would go because guess whose class got moved to Waldorf?
Oh.
The psych teacher was there again. So I told my mom, I promise this time I will pay attention to all my classes if you let me take psych again. So I took psych 101 again. I took psych 101. I actually took notes this time. I paid attention in class. I turned in my work. But every other class, I left and I went to Starbucks. And Matt would pick me up at Starbucks at 11, and we would go to class at 11:30.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So once my mom got hit and knew I was like skipping, that's when the hammer really came down. She was like, you have 1A and the rest of your classes are failing. So since you don't want to do school and I don't want to waste any more money, it's military or you're out of my house. So I talked to Macedonia, I talked to Master Lloyd, and I was like, Master Lloyd, Macedonia, I'm getting kicked out of my house. And I don't know where to go. And I probably won't be able to do jiu-jitsu anymore because my mom wants me to go to the military and my uncle is a recruiter. So I'm definitely going to be getting in. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If she calls my uncle, I'm going to the Air Force. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So Macedonia, if you guys don't know, Macedonia was in the Navy, and Macedonia 100% like hated when he was in the military. He liked being there, liked playing, being in the military, but he doesn't want anybody else to go into the military after him, especially if you're in the gym and you have some talent. He's like, nah, stay here. So Macedonia opened his doors for me, and I stayed with Macedonia. And I basically just lived the jiu-jitsu life because Macedonia said there's no way that you're going to come from your mom's house because you don't want to go to the military. You're not going to be just sitting at my house just doing whatever. If you're going to be living at my house, you're going to be a world champ. So every day I went to Macedonia's house. We went to training in the morning, training at night, training in the morning, training at night, training in the morning, training at night. Even at Macedonia's house, like it's not like he was like Mr. Miyagi and he was forcing me to watch jiu-jitsu, but just the aura of when I was at the house, Muhammad lived there, Gobi lived there, and Macedonia and me. So the house was full of jiu-jitsu. So that's basically the only thing I wanted to do. I would steal Macedonia's movies, jiu-jitsu movies of Jacare, of Marcelo Garcia, of Andre Galvao when he wasn't home. I would go put them in my PS4 and watch jiu-jitsu movies while he wasn't there. Then I would put them back because I knew when the dogs would scratch at the door, he's coming back. So I would put them back and switch, play PS4. So Macedonia thought, oh man, he's just playing PS4. But no, I was studying hard. And then when he was gone, Muhammad and I would play airsoft guns and shoot each other in Macedonia's house.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
So it was great. And Earth came a couple times, and the scariest house in my life. You got 3 big heavyweight Brazilians running around, and you are just in your room as a little blue belt, and it's pretty scary.
Have you ever taken a break from jiu-jitsu? Like, have you ever cross-trained in another sport?
Never. No, never.
You never did wrestling?
Oh, yeah. But wrestling to help my jiu-jitsu. The only time that I actually did other sports when I was younger, during middle school, I played basketball. But it's only because my mom moved me to Virginia, so I couldn't really make it to practice. I would come Mondays and Wednesdays during my classes just to do regular, but not the same schedule that I was doing as a kid in elementary school and definitely as a kid in high school when I got closer to the gym. Middle school is probably the biggest break, air quotations, that I would probably say I took because I was only coming in Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So for those of you that don't know, like the after school and summer camp program, we train Monday through Saturday. Like there's no in-betweens. You're going to make it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The only off day is Sunday. So as a kid in middle school, I played basketball, and we actually were in the same, I guess, region as you guys. I had a scholarship to Bishop Ireton. And
Okay.
I believe they play Mount St. Joe, which is Tim's high school. They also play like St. Stephen, St. Agnes, and guys like that. So I had a scholarship to go there, but I was like, nah, I won't do jiu-jitsu. So I went back and started training full-time in jiu-jitsu in high school.
Now, when you moved with Master Donnie and you were completely engulfed in the jiu-jitsu lifestyle, did you see a difference in your competitive success? Like what? Because I remember like you were like a blue belt, but then within the last few years, something just turned up. Like you just became like one of our guys. Like out of nowhere, I just remember like, yo, this Malachi kid is good. Like if he puts you in his closed guard, you're gonna have a bad time. So can you tell us a little bit about your competitive successes, some of your competitive career, and some of the things that you've learned during that journey?
So the first thing that a lot of people don't know about, I didn't win a match, or actually I won a couple matches, but I didn't win a tournament, like a gold medal at a major advanced division tournament until I was 13.
Whoa.
So I started at 5, started seriously training jiu-jitsu at 7, and for, what is that? I'm not good at math. So I was 13, from 7 to 13, I didn't win a single tournament. I got second, I got third, but never won first. Until I was 13 and I got my yellow belt. I got my yellow belt at 10, but I got at 13. I don't know what happened, but something clicked. And I was like, no more. There's no way I can have this new shiny yellow belt, which is actually like goldish, because like the war belts are like a little bit of a different color. But there's no way I can lose again. So I went to not Grappling Industries, man, but it was an OG tournament. And I won my first tournament, and that was the time that Macedoni started making highlights for the kids team. And I was never on a highlight. You know why? Because I never got first place. So that tournament, I seen Macedoni with the camera, and I was like, today is my day. I will get on this highlight reel the next time he makes a YouTube highlight. So I had 2 matches. First match, I barely won. I think I won by an advantage. I literally remember the whole tournament. And then after that, they had like an intermission because Cedric and Carlo had super fights at that tournament. So I had a match, had a break, and then watched my best friends, my training partners just kill 2 kids in a super fight. So it's like, it's no way I can go out here and get second place. I will be destroyed if I don't make this highlight. So I won. I tapped the kid by a paintbrush, and it was probably the like game changer mentally throughout the rest of my life. Like I'm not saying that I won everything all the way up until then, but from 13 is when it clicked, like, oh man, I actually can do this. I can win. But from there, I kind of didn't take it as serious. It's like, man, okay, I won. I can do this, you know. Let's roll, man. Let's roll. Let's do this. From there, I was getting whooped in the gym. I was getting whooped like at tournaments. I would still win some tournaments, but we're talking about like Naga Philly, Naga Virginia Beach, not like everyone knows Battle at the Beach, Naga Worlds are the 2 top Nagas when you're a competitor. I didn't win those at all. But when I moved in with Macedoni, we had a lot of talks as a kid. I was 17, turning 18. So we had a lot of good talks, like mentally, about preparation, about during the match, about after the match, of what you think you can improve on. So every day in practice, like Master said, I just want to improve by 1%. If I'm improving by 1% each day, I have to be getting better. I'm not getting any worse. So from then on out, I just thought, man, I can only get better from here. I've already hit rock bottom. I've already been to tournaments where I've lost first round. I've got knocked out in 20 seconds. I've got knocked out in 10 seconds. So it's only up from here. So I just keep moving forward with that mindset. It's just only up from here.
I think for me personally, watching your career, I think your brown belt years, that's when it really showed that this guy is serious. Because from an outside observer, you look at the belt ranks, you think, oh, you're just a 19-year-old purple belt. This is nothing. But if you think about it, you're training like a professional. brown belt, it's like it's like SEC college football.
Yeah.
Is finishing school to be a black belt world champion. And I think your run 2018 was spectacular. Like some of the guys that you fought and you've beaten were already on their way and already are established black belts now. Can you talk about that those brown belt years and like that jump that you made? Because even within the few months from Pans to Worlds, you became a totally different animal and you haven't looked back. And I say this too, from my experience, in order for you to become world-class, no matter what belt rank you are, you got to reach that breaking point. And I saw you break through just like when you were 13. Can you talk about that? Because there's a lot of people that watch and might not know who you are, and they might be going through something at any belt rank.
So, like Tim said, at purple, I think I had a good run. I got third, but I got my brown belt and I didn't think I was ready. But as you know, as an athlete, if you get promoted, you don't have to think you're ready. Obviously, your coach thinks you're ready. But mentally, at my start of brown belt, I didn't think I was ready at all. So a lot of my matches, I looked very nervous. I looked very looked like I wasn't in the match. Even with matches that like I should have won, it was like, man, just go out there and go, you know? But I didn't feel it inside. It wasn't until DC 2018, Washington, DC was the first time they brought the IBJJF to DC. It was like everyone's winning, blue belts, white belts, purple belts, everyone is in there winning. So I actually had a couple heavy hitters in my division at brown. I actually went up to feather because there's no one in light feather. So I went up to feather, and it was that match in the finals. So I fought a tough guy from Marcelo Garcia's school that I was like, all right, there's no way I'm losing. Kind of just like a yellow belt when Matt Stein was making those highlights. It came all the way back to brown belt. Years later, I was like, all right, there's no way I'm taking an L. And I think that's just where it clicked. I'm like, boom, I won DC. I beat a very established brown belt at the time. And I was like, man, I'm here. Let's take off this coat. Let's get comfortable. So from then on out at brown belt, I was like, just like I said, it's only up from here. Yeah, I had a couple downfalls where I lost in New York, lost at DC the next time they came to DC. But at Pans, I feel like I really had a breakout, even though I got third. But I fought some really tough names. I was so confident that I even jumped into the open because I felt like, boom, I'm here. Like I said, let's get it going. But brown belt Worlds 2018, my two first matches were people that I fought already. And I hate fighting people that I've already fought. Like, I hate it. Because it's like, man, I fought you already. I fought the second guy 8 times before this. So it's like, man, you have so much pressure. It's like you beat this guy 8 times already. Now we're at the big show. You do not want to lose the ninth battle at the big show. So I'm like, man, I'm so nervous. The first guy, I take him out. I do my famous takedown. So I'm feeling myself. I'm out there. You know, first match jitters are always the worst. But if you start hitting moves that you like to do, you're like, man, I'm here. So I'm out there. I'm going. I finished the first 2 guys. And the third guy is someone that beat me already. So I'm nervous again. I'm like, man, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. But I get to my close guard, and like Tim said, I love close guard. So once I got the close guard, I was like, boy, you're in for a battle now. It's like I'm about to hit a home run for sure. So I pull the guy into close guard, and we're there for a good 6 minutes probably. He opens my close guard. The second time I pull him back in, I pull him into a triangle. But I'm like, man, forget this triangle. If you're in my triangle, I'm pulling into the overhook. So I pop in the overhook. I start feeling myself. I'm like, boom. Here we go. Never been this far into brown belt. I'm in the semifinals. I'm going against a really good brown belt from Soul Fighters. And I'm like, man, never been this far before. This is tough.
I'm nervous. When you get in the middle round, it's
I'm
like,
so
no, don't gotta
nervous.
win. It's just like, all right, we're in here.
I'm in here, man. I'm in here. I got like Brown belt 2018, the light feathers for some reason went like last that day. I don't know why, but we were near the end. So the gym was clear. So there were 4 teams that were still there because we're in the semis. Us, which is TLI, Soul Fighters, Cobrinha, like their branch of Alliance, but it's just Cobrinha because I fought Kennedy in the finals. And then ZR team, who I believe was their maybe second year of being ZR team because they were Gracie Baja. But at that moment, Cobrinha was quiet, ZR team was quiet because it was just me and Soul Fighters on the mat. And hearing everybody from our stands and everybody from their stands just going in, just energized me. And it's funny because I was just talking to Garrett about this the other day because Mikey said that when he was in the finals against Bruno, he had a out-of-body experience. And my whole lifetime, I heard Kobe say it before. I heard LeBron say it before. I heard Jordan say it before. I heard AI say it before. But I'm like, man, I ain't never heard of no goddamn out-of-body experience. That's some wild stuff, right? You're thinking, out-of-body? What does that even mean, right? But in the semifinals, I don't remember the first maybe 4.5 minutes of the match at all. Even to this day, I don't remember anything. I'll go back and watch it on Flow Grappling. I'll go back and watch it on YouTube. I don't remember anything I was doing the first 4.5 minutes of the match. All I remember is waking up and boom, we were in my close guard. And I was like, bam, it's on. It's game over. It's ball game. And it actually wasn't ball game. It was 0-0. Both of us had a penalty, and I was in the overhook. So I'm trying to rock. And with 30 seconds left, I rock him up. I get almost to mount. I let go of his leg, and he pushes me back to my back. So I don't even get an advantage. So I'm like, oh, my God. I woke up 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the match, and now we're 30 seconds left, and I barely slept this dude. Who is going to win? Like, I pop up. I yell, I do a crazy celebration. I don't even know if I'm winning. Matt Donnie's back there like, what the heck are you doing? Where are you? I'm like, man, I don't know. I feel like I won, man. So we pop up. Everyone starts cheering. Even Matt Donnie starts cheering. So I start cheering. I'm beating my chest and everything. I'm like, we got this. And I get the win. And I'm like, man, that's an out-of-body experience. Never had it before. But now I understand what all the greats are talking about. Even Jamil said he's seen himself in the stands watching himself win a match. So it's like, I feel like you're there when you have one of those experiences. Some people don't have it and still get them W's, but it's like having that experience is like probably the greatest experience of my life. Greatest experience of my life. And it happened again in the finals fighting Kennedy, because everyone says, man, why'd you let go of that triangle? And I'm like, dog, I don't remember anything leading up to the triangle. I just remember having him in a triangle, and then bam, I wake up and I'm like, how did we get here? And I'm winning. I'm winning. And then boom, we popped out the triangle, and I'm like, oh God, it's major adrenaline dump for sure.
Yeah.
After all those years of hard training and all the sacrifice and dealing with the pressures of your friends and family, can you describe what it was like getting your black belt?
Oh, man. I definitely surprised everyone, especially Master Donnie, because Master Donnie definitely thought I was going to cry. I even surprised myself because I thought I was going to cry. But there was so much emotion going through my body that I literally, couldn't cry, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, I had so many emotions. I was happy. I was, excited. I was like, man, I want to cry so bad right now, but I literally can't. Like, my feet literally just started walking towards Master Lloyd when he called my name and said Malachi Edmond to black belt. I was like, man, I turned into robot mode. My feet just started walking for me, and there was so much emotion that, it feels like a major success, but you're still back at the bottom. You know what I mean? Because, you're now a white belt of the black belts, you know? So it was, an amazing feeling, because I also got to get up and get my black belt with Angelo the Truck, which is another amazing competitor who also was running brown belt when I was running brown belt. We won New York Pro together. He won the heavy, I won the light. We won DC Open together. Like that's my road dog right there. And I got my black belt with him. I also got to get my black belt with Matt Fox, which was also awesome because he's the raging Texas man who also got his black belt. And we also just got our 1 year anniversary 4 days ago. So we are 1 year black belts, and it's just an amazing experience for sure.
Now, besides being a world-class black belt, you are a foodie.
Yes, I am.
How did you become a foodie? I love food, but I don't know. I can't really cook that well. I eat different places, but I'm not into it. How did you get into it? Can you describe the foodie culture?
My mom's gonna hate me for this, but yeah, I'll describe it. So, just to get a little bit deep, then we'll pull back out the deepness. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 9 years old. My mom did not know how to cook at all. So now we'll jump back out of our feelings, okay? I had to learn how to fake like I liked food because I'm a fat boy. I am fat at heart. And if your food is
mama's
not good,
boy.
right? If your food is not good, I'm going to tell you. Unless you're my mama, I'm not going to tell you. I ain't going to say nothing. You my mama, I ain't going to say nothing. So I would eat food and spit it into napkins, eat food, and then put it in the trash can because my mom could not cook to save her life.
And she wouldn't season it?
My mom is half white, so no.
Hey.
Not seasoned. Y'all can't lie. Y'all
Is it like Zelda? Is it like Zelda when he tries to make the concoction and it?
It's just like she has some things that she was good at. Like I'm not gonna lie, she did some good pork chops and some good spaghetti. But like every Tuesday and Thursday was tacos, and every Wednesday was spaghetti because it would last for the rest of the weekend. And then Friday she would let us, Chipotle, Pizza Hut, things like that. But my mom could not cook. So the reason I became a foodie is because I YouTube people like Rachel Ray, Guy Fieri, Bobby Flay. That's my all-time favorite guy right there. Bobby Flay is my man. And I just started watching what they were doing, and I would go into the kitchen on Saturdays, and my mom would buy groceries and allow me to cook. Like, she was supervised because I wasn't that great either, and we didn't want to get, salmonella. But
you gotta cook the chicken.
She would watch me cook, and I would just try things that I would see on TV, and I would actually hit them. So we would go to restaurants, and I would try food. And I would go and come home and try to make the food that we tried at restaurants. So we made, it's called Mother and Son Days. We would have them every Sunday. And we would just go to different food places like Golden Corral, and I hate that place now, but Olive Garden. We would go downtown and go to places downtown. We would go to Woodbridge because my grandma lives in Woodbridge. We go to Woodbridge and just try food all over the place. Like mom and pop shops, like real name places, and just try food. And I would just come back home and just try to cook it. So now I started a YouTube called Magic Man Meals, where I just go around. We go to New York, we go to California, we go to New Jersey, and I just try top spots.
Yeah.
Tell them how it is.
What is your specialty? What is your specialty meal?
I'm gonna say it like my mama, probably spaghetti.
You got 10,000 hours of eating spaghetti, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't make basic spaghetti though. Like it's not just meat, sauce, and noodles. It's a whole concoction of jalapenos, and I actually used ground lamb instead of ground beef. I'm trying to tell you, after this episode, we'll link up. I'll make you some of my famous spaghetti, but I'm good at spaghetti and lamb chops. Lamb chops are my thing. I make them during Thanksgiving, and they're gone in minutes. First plates.
Mm.
Has there been a special cuisine, like you travel? So have you traveled to a place and had good food there? Have you traveled somewhere specifically for the food?
Yes, it's funny that you asked this question because you blessed me and made me your coach for Korea, and I am forever indebted because that was the greatest trip of my life. Like,
Because of the food, or
You
That
know
trip
it.
was dope. Like, I got a Bulls starter
No,
jacket pre The Last Dance. So if I were to sell that joint, I get paid, but I'm gonna keep it as private stock. It was a good
You
trip.
definitely could, and it has a hood, so you can rock that joint in the rain and everything. So he definitely could sell that bad boy for some good money. But no, Nico, like everything, the food, the camaraderie, and not just like with the big names that were there. Like literally, I was humbled to the people that got me there. Like Tim and Jamil, that's my main focus. I was helping them because that's what I was there for. Like I still would duck off and go to Burger King in Korea and go to 7-Eleven in Korea and places like that. I even did an episode, if you look, I did an episode with Tim in Korea where we tried some of Korea's best 7-Eleven snacks. We tried some noodles. We tried some Doritos. We tried green tea Kit Kats. You gotta watch. But
I saw one where you were eating at a restaurant. Like it wasn't with Tim. I saw Jamil and some of the other people that were there with Spider. And I was like,
You put the clip when we were eating with Lo and Hodolfo on the other side of the table, right? And they were like asking you.
Levi, whole bunch of big names are at that dinner. I also did the traditional dinner where we were sitting right next to Bruno Malfacine and Hodolfo and Lo. And Lo tried the noodles, and Hodolfo actually have a video of them two trying the noodles, and they're like, it was octopus. We tried octopus, crazy.
Brazilians are super weird with their food. They're just used to their like rice, beans, and spaghetti and French fries all in one meal.
And corn all on one plate.
I loved it. I love it though. Whenever I go to Brazil, I go to those same spots with that food.
Yeah, it's hell trying to explain to a Brazilian here that you can't get rice and beans and spaghetti at the same spot anywhere. It's like that. It doesn't exist in America. That's Mexican and Italian.
Doesn't work here. Doesn't work here.
No.
So since we're on the subject of food, Malachi, and martial arts, I got some rapid fire questions. All right, this is rapid fire.
Oh snap!
So Nico provided the questions. I added one, but Nico provided the questions. You have 5 seconds to answer. Are you ready?
Countdown, right?
Yeah.
Pizza or hamburgers?
Pizza.
Passing or pulling?
Passing.
Korean or Italian?
Korean.
Cookies or brownies?
Cookies.
Points or sub only?
Sub only. No. I take that back. I thought you meant go for the sub. I'm points matches.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Ew, really?
Don't touch his choices, Tim.
I'm sorry. Gi or no gi?
Gi, what?
Chokes or arm bars?
Chokes.
Brasileiros or Europeans?
Ooh, Brasileiros. I like beating people on their own turf.
World champion for the title or ADCC for the money?
I fight for pride, not money. So world title.
All right, last one. Bladder racks or CMOS?
CMOS. I'm woke. CMOS. I'm woke.
Take that one back.
I'm woke. See what Dr. Umar wants y'all to think is CMOS is not for us, but is for us.
No. Let's drop that Spizzy's juice got that CMOS, don't they? I was supposed to roll through there today for the Juneteenth celebration, but I got no gas. And I'm still scared of Corona. I ain't leaving my house. I ain't gonna lie. I'm scared of Corona.
Oh,
but that's Spizzy's.
Is that a black business? Is that a black business we're supporting?
Yes, as a black business, we are supporting Spizzy's, smoothies, teas, and good vibes in Clinton, Maryland. We were there today.
Support black businesses, guys. We gotta have a segment every week, Nico, where we support a black business.
Yeah,
besides BJJ Goons and Fuzz Jiu-Jitsu, we gotta support black business. So Spizzy Juice. We gotta have a link in the description.
We will put one because the owner is the father of one of the students at TLI. I'm also an educator, so he actually rolled up into my school one time for like some kind of PD, and they opened in the middle of COVID. Like they just opened.
And I was there in COVID.
Yeah, so that's really dope. I'm really proud of that. I've been waiting for
that CMOS.
You got that. Always gotta have the CMOS. It clears your pineal gland, so it's not coated. When you brush your teeth, you don't use fluoride. You use baking soda, so it doesn't coat your pineal gland, so you can talk to Ja through your third eye. That's what you got to do.
Umar said it the best. Do you really think Dr. Sebi was taken out by health issues? No. He was taken out by the man because he knew the secrets of CMOS. It's CMOS, man.
Exactly.
CMOS.
Malachi, what's next for you, brother? I know you want to be a black belt world champion, but do you want to open a school eventually? Do you want to fight MMA? I mean, you are a Taijutsu master.
WWE, that's always.
Yes.
Man, they're making bank. Shout out to Lionel. Went to school with this
Rush.
guy. He is Leo Rush, and he is making bank in the WWE. Him and Bobby Lashley tag team.
Shout out to MVP. He's my homie, bro.
Shout out to MVP, but no, I will not be going to WWE. I will not be doing MMA because if you train with me and you already know, I get a nosebleed of practice, so MMA is not for me. But I do want to open my own gym. Exactly when, I don't know, but I do know a location. I do want to move down south. I'm thinking like the Alabama area, maybe the Carolinas to help, more Black people get into jiu-jitsu. Like a lot of people think that jiu-jitsu, wrestling, the ground part of MMA is weird, especially this generation. They think it's weird. And I don't mean to use this derogatory term, but most people think it's gay. And I want to change the narrative of no-gi jiu-jitsu and wrestling and jiu-jitsu itself to not being weird. You can go and wrestle around with a male and get sweaty and start tapping him out and taking his back and getting into some real funky positions without it being weird. It's super manly, super testosterone heavy. And I want to show the South that, hey, y'all got some major athletes. As Greg says, y'all got some real man down South. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to, show the South. I have a lot of family in the South. So I got some big plans. My cousin is actually the owner of a charter school in Atlanta, and he would love for me to open a school inside his school to teach the youth jiu-jitsu. So we have a couple plans in effect.
What is the name of that charter school? Because I want to plug it.
That is a good question that I do not know.
We're gonna put it. We're gonna ask Malachi off air what the name of the charter school is, and we're gonna plug it on our social media.
For sure. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up on social media. I'll answer all your questions, I promise.
Okay, before we wrap, brother, is there anything else that you would like to plug? Any shout outs, anything that you want to say? Because we want to support you because you're a Black grappler. And, I'm trying to start an association called the Legacy Martial Arts Association that has – you're kind of what you just said is like the personification of what we want to do, and we want to spread the art. So is there anything else that you want to promote so we can support you, put some money in your pocket, any projects you got coming out?
For sure. The first thing, I do want to thank everyone that's got me here. So I definitely want to thank my mom and my dad. I definitely want to thank Master Donnie and Master Lloyd, because without them, I wouldn't be a black belt and I wouldn't have a gym to train in. I want to thank all my training partners, Tim, Nico, you guys run this podcast, but Jamil, Elijah, Ray, Rico, Corey, Angelo, all the guys that are back at the gym that, I train with every day, who make me who I am and keep me humble. So definitely want to thank those guys. I do want to thank my brother for leaving jiu-jitsu because he'd be great. I'd be secondhand Edmond. But besides that, no big projects. I'm back to painting shoes, but it's 100% hobby and it's 100% for myself. I just created some off-white Vans, but if you want to hit me up, I may do a shoe or two for you. And I just been making food. That's it. We just in here cooking,
Want that magic man meal prep.
Yesterday I made a chicken bacon pesto pizza. So I need to put it on YouTube.
And then this is gonna hang up the call. Goodbye.
I need to put it on YouTube. But
I'm sitting here with I clearly have fast food right here. I was just like, I can't.
Right?
We got to do.
Word, you got the XL milkshake joint.
This is a normal size milkshake. Thank you very much. It could have been a protein shake. It wasn't.
For Americans, that's a normal size. That joint is like an XL.
This is it's just really close to the camera. Okay, it's a normal. I haven't had a milkshake. I haven't had a milkshake.
Go ahead, Malachi.
The last thing I do talk to Tim. We are going to get that Black Jiu-Jitsu celebration in the works as soon as coronavirus is over. Definitely going to have to get that together, hosted by Tim Spriggs with famous guests, Jamil, Oray, me, Elijah, Rico, Angelo.
We got to have a Mochella. We got to do it. We got to coincide it with Mochella and have mad people come
Jiu-Jitsu
through.
Mochella. Jiu-Jitsu
Yes.
Mochella. So everyone come in, especially if you're Black. We having a Black celebration. Calling it the Jiu-Jitsu Kickback. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be great.
Oh, that's going to be dope. Yeah. That would be really dope.
Well, Nico, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say before we wrap?
Not much. It's the same old stuff. Make sure to follow me on Instagram on No New Nico and at Favela Jiu-Jitsu. I'm working on hiring some new freelance writers, so I don't have to do all this stuff. I just got like my first article from Angola, waiting for one for Sao Paulo, because there's like some vicious people from GFT Angola, and one of them just got in contact with me and sent me like a whole bunch of videos. They have some like really good wrestlers out there that I gotta go through. I'm gonna make some highlights and throw them up soon. So I'm gonna have some like articles, videos, and stuff like that coming out on Favela Jiu-Jitsu. So just stay tuned to that.
Make sure you guys follow me at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram and Facebook. Go to timspriggsbjj.com for all things Tim Spriggs. I have virtual coaching. I do mind maps. I do match critiques. Go to favelajujitsu.com. That has all the Tim Spriggs Mushmaster merch. Be on the lookout from our YouTube channel. The BJJ Goons podcast is on YouTube and all streaming platforms. I have a YouTube channel. I'm going to be dropping more match critiques and match breakdowns on Tim Spriggs BJJ. Besides that, peace and blessings to everyone.
Wait. Don't forget to follow me, guys. The Magic Man _BJJ and Magic Man Meals on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks again to the Magic Man for coming on the show. This has been the BJJ Goons podcast. Peace.
Peace.